Of Monday, February 22nd via Zoom. If the clerk would please take the roll.
Councilmember Archibald,
Here.
Councilmember Ashford,
Present.
Councilmember Lamb,
Here.
Councilmember Mosherak,
Here.
Councilmember Pemberton,
Here.
Councilmember Ruiz,
Here.
Mayor Rep.
Here. You have before you the minutes from the February 8th regular meeting. Is there a motion to receive and file?
So move, Madam Chair.
I'll support.
Councilmember Ashford, supported by Mayor Pro Tem Archibald. Is there any changes to the meeting minutes? All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? The minutes will stand as submitted. We have one public hearing tonight. If the clerk would please read that.
To hear comments on the proposed 2021 annual action plan.
Thank you. I'll open it up, and I don't know if we have anybody in the audience. If we do, you need to hit the raise your hand icon near the right-hand corner and then unmute yourself. If you're on a cell phone, then you need to press *9 to raise your hand and then *6 to unmute. I will leave it open for a moment and see if anybody joins us for the public hearing. Doesn't look like there is. So I will declare public hearing number 1 closed. We will move on to public comment. If there's anyone that is viewing us through Zoom that wants to make a public comment, they need to come aboard and give us their name. They have 4 minutes, and the same applies, either the raise your hand icon at the bottom, or to, if you have your phone, it's to press 9 to raise your hand and then 6 to unmute yourself. So in any case, you need to unmute yourself. Is there anyone who wishes to speak?
Mayor Rappelbit and Chris Smithen.
Okay. Then we are ready to hear your comments. Chris Smith.
Okay, well, this is actually Larry Jones sitting at Chris Smith. You know, I came over there and you wouldn't let me in, so.
That's quite all right, as long as we know who you are.
To get these old guys, you know, to do this Zoom stuff. I just went through all this with this tax credit thing, so. You know, thanks to all you folks. This is kind of weird, you know, I guess I want to talk on behalf of this pot store going in next door. You know, I didn't hear about it until I walked into the Vintage on Friday night, and I'm kind of, you know, several people are coming up to me saying that, you know, what in the world is this going on? Why would the city approve this? And why am I on board? Because supposedly people from the city have said that Larry Jones is on board with all this, which, you know, taking words out of my mouth. Larry Jones is not on board with this. And, you know, I usually, as people know, over the last 8-10 years, I haven't talked numbers. But, you know, we have tried very hard to do things in our city, to work with other people and to help people and to make it more of a family friendly walking downtown. You know, we put in hallways from street to street. We put in public restrooms. We've done a lot of different things to make it family friendly. Now we have the Wrigley Center, which is a several $1 million job, and we have lots of ideas to do things for families, to bring families down to Port Huron, downtown. And you know, and I kind of use as a Harley or as a biker. You know, we had the Cajun Gator restaurant. We had 5 motorcycles pull up. Very nice people. I mean, very nice people. But because of the way we live through the media, what they teach us. So because there was 5 motorcycles out front, people come in, everybody, you could just see how people hurried up and ate and left, and nobody came in until all those bikers left, because of the idea, the thought in people's mind that bikers are trouble. That's a wrong impression. Okay, so we're putting a drugstore in, or, you know, a pot shop, a pot store, whatever, here on our river, on prime property. And people's idea is they don't want their kids around that. You know, we come to Port Huron a few years ago. there was, there's been several opportunities. We could have put a dollar store into Sperry's. Everybody talked us out of it. We could have put a tattoo parlor in, it's like, that's one thing that, there's a lot of people have tattoos and, that's to each to their own. Okay. But just the image that the media spreads out, it's a bad thing. So families don't want to have their families or children around that. So they'll avoid that area. So we want to be able to do things that create a downtown walking community. I don't own that building. So to me, it's a very stupid thing for the owner to do to that building. I guess they have an idea that they're going to be able to make money off of this, which I disagree. The train trestle over here, for example, I would love to see the train trestle stay, but I don't own it. So I don't have that say. I wanted to buy that building. I wanted to buy that whole corner and do lofts in there and do something nice, as far as the restaurant, Bahama Breeze, or, something that would be family friendly. But I was pushed back because I was told that the Grand River Brewery was coming in there and it was a done deal and it was going to be successful. So that's why I went on and went over to the Wrigley Center and started, that project. And I couldn't talk anybody else into doing it. So, that's it's going to be a fabulous project. I just wanted to state my case that is not something that I feel should be in our downtown. I don't know if there's anything we can do or if we even have any say, but Larry Jones is not on board with that. And I think there's so many cool things that could be done with that building right on the water that would be an asset to our downtown and not something that right or wrong.
Larry, your 4 minutes is up, so I'm going to have to cut you
It
off.
goes so fast. It goes so fast. 4 minutes.
I know it does.
Anyway,
do
thank
appreciate
you all
your
so much.
comments.
You have a great evening.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else who wishes to address the council this evening? Is there anyone in the waiting room?
No, Madam Mayor, there is not.
Okay, we will close public comment then, and we will move on with the agenda. We'll move on to from the city manager, number 1, if the clerk would please read it.
Accepting the bid from Ace Saginaw Paving Company in the amount of $173,191.60 for the Lapeer Avenue area from 7th Street to 10th Street resurfacing project.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Mayor Pro Tem
Support.
Archibald, is there a second?
Support.
Councilmember Ashford. Discussion.
Madam Mayor, this will be paid for the Water Street TIF. We have a TIF district there that has the funding available. So it won't be general funds, it won't be the street capital for that TIF.
Okay. And so this was something that was planned
Yes.
all along. Yeah.
Yep.
Any questions from council?
Mayor Rep,
Yes, Councilmember Lamb.
do we have a time frame on this, when they anticipate that it's going to begin and how long it would be until it's completed?
It will, first of all, be a pretty quick project, about a 2-week, 3-week project, if that, because they can mill and keep traffic open. So we hope to have it done in the first part of warm weather.
Very good, thank you.
Sounds good. Anyone else have any questions or comments? We'll take the vote on item 1.
Councilmember Archibald,
Yes.
Councilmember Ashford,
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb,
Yes,
Councilmember Mosherak,
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton,
Yes.
Councilmember Ruiz,
Yes.
Mayor Rep.
Yes. Item 2.
Accepting the bid from Weiss Construction Company LLC in the amount of $3,179,978 for the air piping replacement and diffused aeration system rehabilitation at the wastewater treatment plant.
Is there a motion?
so
So
moved.
moved.
I think we have Councilmember Lamb and Councilmember Mosherak. There you go. Do you want to give an explanation on this one, please, Mr. Freed?
Yeah, I'll give you first the financial implications of it, and then for the, I call it discussion of how it actually works. We'll turn that over to the city engineer, Mr. Witter, who is online. But first and foremost, so as you know, we've been expelling some significant amount of capital over the last 18 months in our wastewater and water plants. These are capital improvement projects that are 30, 40 years depreciation schedules. These are generational projects. We're replacing original parts in the plant. That plant is significantly old. Both plants are. And so this is to be expected that we have these reinvestments. What we will be doing is we will be coupling this project with several other projects to do about a $12 million financing through bonding. So tonight, later on in the agenda, you'll have a notice of reimbursements, meaning we're giving out notice that we intend on reaching back about 18 months and reaching forward about 24 months to package all these projects in a long-term financing plan like we've done before. In addition to that, I have reviewed our, and I believe that we have some notes from the early 2000s and mid 2000s that we can refinance. So not new debt, but additional debt, not additional debt, but refinancing the existing debt, which we will bring a plan to save you $2 million later this month in interest by refinancing. Are ungodly low right now. We will be bonding out this work with some previous work. So this will be part of a broader bonding initiative that will happen towards June. It's going to pay for it. There's also a breakdown of costs because we're co-owners of the plant. You'll notice on page 58 of your packet that of this amount, about $424,000 will be to Port Huron Township, $172,000 to Kimball Township, and $439,000 to Fort Gratiot. So about $1,030,000 will be for our funding partners, and we will be left with the $2.1 million for a total cost of about $3.1 million. So we will be billing back for our funding partners who own capacity in the plant based on those percentages. So that's the financing of how we're going to pay for this and how it's going to work. By financing it, we're able to pass this cost over 30 years of users rather than all the users today to keep costs lower, as low as possible. So we don't anticipate this causing a rate increase by the financing and refinancing the existing debt. With that said, I will turn this over to the nuts and bolts on what this actually functionally does to the plant to Director Witter. Eric, are you there?
Yes, I am,
I see.
James. Good evening, Mayor and Council. What you have before you is one of the main processes out in secondary treatment. Majority of what's being proposed for replacement is original to the plant. Over the last year and a half, wastewater staff has made many attempts to put Band-Aids on it. Some of those have worked, some have not. So with that, back in June, City Council approved an agreement with Fishback, who is the engineer. They came in, did a complete evaluation, and they obviously discovered a few more things than we thought. So what you have before you, obviously the memo explains a lot, but there's the majority of it's piping. There's some diffuser heads, there's some valves. We did do our due diligence. We did structure the bid with various, the base bid and two alternatives to see if there's any economy of scale to do all three at one time. And what the bid showed us is if we did all three at one time in today's current bidding, we save about $800,000. So there's obviously that amount of savings in today's dollars at this time for construction. There's also some administrative and engineering savings. If we're doing multiple phases with the way bids have been going on, that $800,000 might not be as much as we would see today because of the increase in construction costs. And also to note, we've had a few violations. There's no monetary consequences, but we have been in violation for some of our process and our reporting requirements with our effluent to the St. Clair River that have obviously put us in violation. So this is ranked a high priority, and what's before you is, we believe, a good cost savings to the users with $800,000.
Madam Mayor, just to add to that, I did do a cost benefit analysis of carrying costs versus savings. So $800,000 versus our carrying costs of about 2 to 2.25%. That's our estimated bond costs. So the savings versus carrying costs, there is a cost benefit to doing it all at once in addition to the savings, but even with the carrying costs, there's significant savings.
Okay, Mayor.
Any questions? Yes, Councilmember Ashford?
Yeah, so Eric, you're saying this is all three that are going to be completed?
So yes,
This is-
there's,
Go ahead.
the secondary treatment has 3 trains, what we call them. So
Right.
we're required to have one as redundancy in case you have to take one out of service. So this will be all 3 aeration tanks. And we anticipate with the contractor and the schedule we put forward, that it would start in summer of 2021 and be completed by summer 2022.
Okay, and then Eric, I see where those two they are showing beginning to fail, but and we're in violation, so there's no fine that you said that is attached to this. So are there any repercussions other than, do they give us grace period to finish this or what?
Well, I think eventually, if we don't become compliant, which it's been off and on with violations, but if it continues to be violation after violation on a monthly basis, I'm sure that they would put a lot of pressure on us to do something. So we're trying to be as proactive, recognizing that we've taken steps to try to put Band-Aids on it. The Band-Aids aren't working. So what before you tonight is our attempt to take care of the issues and make us compliant to possibly avoid any future fines.
Yeah, and I think this coming before us, it is important because you're talking about polluting and everything. I mean, that's, we got, Fort Gratiot and other people that we are accountable for it. So I don't see no way out of this. It's just no option that we, don't do this and get on this and get it fixed. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Any other questions?
Eric, can you just, for the council's sake, can you give a timeline of how long if we're gonna invest $3 million, what's the life expectancy of this?
Well, much of what we're replacing is original plant, which was in the mid 70s. So I would hope we'd at least get 20 to 30 years out of some of this. Today's world, they don't make things like they used to, but I would suspect we at least get 20 to 30, if not longer, out of it.
How long is the project going to take to do?
We believe it's going to start, depending on some lead time, summer of this year, and would take approximately 1 year. So
Okay.
we suspect it'll be completed by summer, like June of 2022.
Any other questions?
Mayor Rep,
Yes.
question for Mr. Witter. When you say you brought in an engineering firm to take a look at our plant, is that what they do? Is it a firm that comes in and does those kind of inspections and recommendations?
Yes, so we obviously use a number of different firms. We relied on Fishback this time around, as they had other previous knowledge of the plan as well as experience in this field. So we brought them in, they did evaluation, they were very in-depth. We obviously, when council awarded that contract in June, didn't expect to be that much money, but based on their preliminary review and then obviously with their findings of recent, this project was much bigger than we thought as far as problems and things that needed to be taken care of.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Thank you, Eric.
You're welcome.
You can take the vote.
Councilmember Ashford,
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb,
Yes.
Councilmember Mosherak,
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton,
Yes.
Councilmember Ruiz,
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald,
Yes.
Mayor Rep.
Yes. We'll move on to item 3.
Accepting the bid from Wensco Sign Supply in the amount of $7,874.17 for the purchase of a Graph Tech FC 9000 54-inch sign plotter and stand, along with a service agreement for use by the Streets Department.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Support.
Councilmember Ashford, supported by Mayor Pro Tem Archibald. Any discussion?
Madam Mayor, this is so we can continue to make custom signs in-house. Now, mass-produced signs, speed limit signs, stop signs, those types of signs we buy in bulk from a producer, but like custom signs for like parking lot signs or park signs or just odds, to our city, we find it cheaper to make those in-house. We have capable staff and a machine shop that can do it. So this will allow us to keep that capability in staff. And every time we needing a Port Huron specific sign, having to pay an outside firm to design and build. So it kind of pays for it.
Any questions?
There was $7,500 was budgeted, so this was a budgeted item.
Thank you. We'll take the vote.
Councilmember Lamb,
Yes.
Councilmember Mosher,
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton,
Yes.
Councilmember Ruiz,
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald,
Yes.
Councilmember Ashford,
Yes.
Mayor Rep.
Yes. Resolutions, number 1.
Authorizing reimbursement of expenses from bond proceeds for improvements to the sanitary sewer system.
Is there a motion?
So move.
Mayor Pro Tem Archibald, supported by Councilmember Lamb. Can you give a little explanation about this, please?
Yes, Madam Mayor and Council. So what we'll do is we'll look back 18 months, and then we'll fast forward to the next 24 months. We'll look at capital projects that we've done that have a lifespan of 40 years, and we'll capitalize that out through a bonding initiative. So we'll recoup our costs that we've already done to provide a much more better financial path for the city to keep rates lower and to also equally disperse that cost over users over 30 years. Meaning, if we build something to $2 million, the users today shouldn't pay for it when it's going to benefit users for the next 30 to 40 years. So the capitalization and financing through enterprise bonds is how we do that. This will allow us to begin taking note of what we're doing and essentially give notice that we intend to refinance these capital projects over a longer horizon. And that is what this is today. Now, what I will do at the next meeting, hopefully the next meeting, will bring you notice of intent that we in financing for what we have documented that we want to reimburse in projects going forward this year and possibly the next 2 years. In addition to that, like I said, I want to do a further analysis of our current bonds that we have out. We have a lot of financing through CSO work. Some of those bonds, when interest rates were really amazing, 4.5%. I mean, back in the day when you got 4.5%, we popped champagne. Today, we can get that less than 2%. And so we're going through those bond books. We're not going to extend those bonds. We're not going to add more debt. We're going to take the existing debt on the existing horizon and refinance under a lower rate to create what's called nominal and PV savings. So PV is the present value savings of how much money we'll save today by refinancing, and nominal, which we believe will be more than $2 million, is over the course of those refinanced notes, the saving that would occur had we not refinanced, which we believe the nominal savings will be north of $2 million. So we'll bring you, by the time we're done, $12 million in the refinancing. It'll probably be closer to 23, 24 million, but only about 12.3 of new financing with the savings of $2 million. And more to come on that in the next meeting. But we need to get the process of your reimbursements, your notice of intent, begin getting that clock rolling. The reason why we wanted to have this notice done tonight is because we can go back 18 months. As you know, most projects are financed at the start of if we wait another 2 or 3 months, we could have projects fall off that statutory horizon of when we can reach back.
Any questions? We'll take the vote.
Councilmember Mosher,
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton,
Yes.
Councilmember Ruiz,
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald,
Yes.
Councilmember Ashford,
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb,
Yes.
Mayor Rep.
Yes. Item 2 under resolutions.
Authorizing a 1-year extension to clean cut maintenance in the amount of $1,500 per mowing and trim for lawn maintenance at various city-owned parks and properties.
Is there a motion?
So move.
Supported by Councilmember Pemberton, and Councilmember Ashford made the motion. Is there, can you explain the reason that this one and the next one as to why we're just extending our contracts?
Because if we rebid it, we're getting a deal this good. This is really cheap. They're willing to extend it. We have an option to extend it for 1 year. They're willing to honor the price. They've been doing a wonderful job for us. And so we have no reason to rebid it until we have to.
Okay. Any questions?
Mayor, I broke down the math, speaking specifically to this one and the next one. If you do the math on it, they're mowing some of these vacant city properties for less than $15 a cut. Last time I tried getting my lawn priced out, it was far more than 15 bucks a cut. So they
Yeah.
really are, they're doing a great job. They're doing it as a service to their community. And so we really appreciate both Clean Cut and Major League Landscaping for working with the city and helping us out.
Thank you. We will take the vote on item 2.
Councilmember Pemberton,
Yes.
Councilmember Ruiz,
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald,
Yes.
Councilmember Ashford,
Yes.
Councilmember,
Yes.
Councilmember Mosherak,
Yes.
Mayor Rep.
Yes. Item 3.
Authorizing a 1-year extension to Major League Landscaping and Lawn Care LLC in the amount of $2,149 per mow and trim of approximately 150 city-owned vacant lots.
Is there a motion?
So move. Support. Oh, Jeff, give it to Jeff. Jeff, I seen your little hand go up there.
He did.
Yeah.
Maybe that's an easier way if you put your hand up, because everybody, otherwise it's kind of hard to tell when everybody's talking. So
Trying to
Okay.
help you out.
we will do that. Is there any other questions on this one? I think the city manager answered basically for both of these items. So unless there's something further, we'll take the vote.
Mayor,
Yes.
just, James, is there a reason that one of these two companies aren't doing both of these? That we're splitting them up like that, or is it just how it's always worked?
Excellent question. It's actually because of the equipment that's needed to mow. Some of the sites in one contractor are much mowing decks, riding mowers with much larger mowing decks. And some of the in the other contract, it's much narrower lots. It requires different equipment for like push mowers. And so we up based on equipment.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. We will take the vote.
Councilmember Ruiz,
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald,
Yes.
Councilmember Ashford,
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb,
Yes.
Councilmember Mosherak,
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton,
Yes.
Mayor Rep.
Yes. Item 4.
Approving the agreement with St. Clair County and the St. Clair County Prosecuting Attorney to provide prosecution services and other miscellaneous legal services.
Is there a motion?
I'm
So
waving
moved.
my hand.
I think it was Councilmember Ashford supported by Councilmember Mosherak.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't
right.
hardly see you, Anita, down in the corner. So
Oh,
there, that's
Oh,
good.
sir. Yeah.
That's good. Is I have a question on this. Do we still find that this is the advantageous way to handle prosecution services as opposed to having someone work for us?
Yes, so we break it down based on criminal and civil. So we have our local in-house attorney that does our zoning ordinance and blight violations and things like that. But for misdemeanors and actual crimes, we find that the prosecutor's office is the most efficient way and cost-effective way of doing it for the city. They've been doing an excellent job. Mike Wendling and his team have a relationship with our police department. Great communication. They're able to get things through the process in an efficient manner. So it's working out very well. I can't sing the praises enough of our prosecutor, Mr. Wendling. He's put together just a star-studded team, and they do an excellent job for the citizens of this county and for the citizens of Port Huron.
Thank you. Any questions from council?
Mayor Rep?
No, but we've been doing
Yes,
that for quite a
Councilmember
while.
Ruiz.
Oh,
What?
go ahead.
James, just a curiosity, how long have we been doing this or using them
Oh,
rather than having a city attorney?
For the criminal prosecution, for as long as I can remember,
yeah.
because we always
James,
It's probably been about
It's been a long,
13 years.
yeah.
So I thought, something like that.
Yep,
Thank you.
a little longer than I've been mayor. Yeah,
A little.
a little.
All right now.
Councilmember Ashford, did you have a comment or question?
No, that's what I was just getting ready to say. He asked the question. I was just saying, we've been doing this for quite some time. And I like the coordination of it and the partnership of it and kind of take it off of us and put it over in that, a little bit more leveraging and credibility in that side and working those cases.
Right. Anything else from anyone on council? We'll take the vote.
Councilmember Archibald,
Yes.
Councilmember Ashford,
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb,
Yes.
Councilmember Mosher,
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton,
yes,
Councilmember Ruiz,
Yes.
Mayor Rep.
Yes. Item 5.
Approving the scheduling of a public hearing for March 8th, 2021 to hear input and receive comments from citizens on proposed grant applications through the Michigan Department of Natural Resources Trust Fund and the Michigan Department of Natural Resources Recreation Passport Fund for financial assistance in improvements to Sanborn Park.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Mayor Pro Tem Archibald, supported by Councilmember Lamb. Any questions?
This will be a couple of years out before, if awarded, of actual construction. As you know, we've been making our way through the community, leveraging local dollars with the D. I appreciate Nancy Windsor and Kim Harmer getting this grant application together relatively quickly. We did put a higher match than typical of 51% because we've tapped the DNR funds pretty heavily the last couple of years, and we wanted to put in a pretty competitive grant application to make it for chances of being awarded.
Thank you. Any other discussion? We'll take the vote.
Councilmember Ashford,
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb,
Yes.
Councilmember Mosher,
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton,
yes,
Councilmember Ruiz,
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald,
Yes.
Mayor Rep.
Yes. We'll move on to ordinances. Number 1.
Second reading and enactment. An ordinance to amend Chapter 52 zoning, Article 4, general and supplementary regulations to provide for additions and revisions regarding locations of marijuana facilities and marijuana establishments within the city of Port Huron.
Is there a motion?
so moved,
Councilmember Mosher, supported by Councilmember Pemberton. Any discussion? We'll take the vote.
Councilmember Lamb,
Yes.
Councilmember Mosher,
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton,
yes,
Councilmember Ruiz,
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald,
Yes.
Councilmember Ashford,
No.
Mayor Rep.
Yes. That concludes the items on our agenda. I have one announcement, and that is that we have a special city council meeting this week on Wednesday at 6 o'clock. And it'll be to discuss priorities and goals for the upcoming fiscal year 21-22. So the city clerk will be sending out a listing of what people have submitted, and you will get it prior to the meeting so that we can go over those, and you'll have them right in front of you. They will be numbered so that we can go through them, and then we will have the opportunity to vote for up to 7 at the end of the meeting, and you'll do it by number. We used to get up and put our little dots on there, but we're not together to put our dots on. So you will then give your numbers, and Cindy will record them for each person. Then she will put it all together in a resolution form, and it will be on the council agenda then following that for adoption. So just so you know that. And that is all I have. Is there anything that anyone else has to bring forward?
Mayor Rep, if I could.
Yes.
I would just like to say a quick thank you to the utilities department. We've had a big snap. We've got main breaks throughout the city this last, and they have been out there in the middle of the day, in the middle of the night, fixing the water main breaks. And also we had a massive snowy this week, and our street crews did a tremendous job of getting the snow out of the roads, getting the streets open in a timely fashion. They were up all night, really pushing the limits to keep up with that snowstorm. We have very talented and hardworking DPW crews, and I just want to take a moment to thank them for their hard work. The trucks passed my house at 3 a.m. They passed a couple of my neighbors' house at 4 a.m. And while we were tucked away in bed, they were hard at work, and I want them to know that that hard work doesn't go unnoticed.
Well, I'll add my thanks to your thanks. So.
And I'll add my thanks to your thanks and your thanks. And so on and so on.
So we can keep going.
They
Lots of
did do a
thanks.
good job, though.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They did. Is there anything else to come before council? Then I will entertain a motion to adjourn if someone would like to do so.
So move.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you. We'll see you in 2 days.
Okay, see ya.
Bye.